Hello, what's up, y'all? Um, I got a little something here from the page More to Life. Is entitled "The Simp Era Is Over." I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, the simp era is now over. Let's get into it. Let's go get it, y'all. Hold on. Get this right. There we go.
Today I'll show you how to do it in just 20 minutes with X Tool Apparel Printer. An all-in-one, fully automated...
How are you going to find a grown, put-together woman who has no experience in men? You're not asking for a woman. You're asking for a child.
Period, Nate Daniel, for no reason. If I wanted to have kids, I would have them. Oh, it's just my baby father coming to pick him up. And he's coming and busting your...
Single mother will never get...
Reason. If I wanted to have kids, I would have them. Oh, it's just my baby father coming to pick him up. And he's coming and busting your...
Single mother will never get a good man.
I just don't see myself being a stepdad.
I don't really see a lot of men that's wiping up women who have children.
Black men gathered to dissect the problem of single black motherhood, filling feeds with blame, but never reflection.
Most men want to start a family, they don't want to join a family.
Exactly.
No man wants to marry a single mom as a first choice.
That's
Same with older women. I'm sorry. They want a young woman who doesn't have kids and who doesn't have experience with other men. So you want somebody who's fresh and ripe and hasn't been touched. What does that sound like?
A virgin.
So they want a child. The answer can only be...
Why do they do this?
Because no grown
Why
woman is
do
not
they
gonna
do
have
this?
Is not going to have no experience with men, even if she's 21. How are you going to find a grown, put-together woman who has no experience in men? Do you know the type of woman that you're asking for? You're not asking for a woman. You're asking for a child. I think you should have kept this one in your drafts.
Yeah, so what's happening is they're tight, right? Men aren't doing it any longer. And this new generation of men are cold, so cold, right? What I mean back in the days, you had guys that would do it, but the ladies were a lot different. Nowadays, the men have to be cold. Because if they're not cold, they don't have any chance. Ladies wonder why they get done wrong. Some ladies get lied to because men feel that they have no choice. And they wonder why the date market is in shambles. It's because you don't see what men are going through. You don't see what men have to do. There are some guys that are shiesty, but haven't you ladies created them? We get what you put out.
What I really wish is that for you men to be honest with women from the beginning. I've been battling this for years, crying for years, because I went from a virgin at almost 30 years old to a single mother. And it hurts me because I've been silent for too long, and all I hear people say is they disrespect women and mothers all the time. But they don't never talk about how men lie and deceive women. They don't even want to be with them. I wish I would just be honest with women before the trauma began. So I went from a virgin to almost 30 years old to a single mom, to be in trauma, to be in survival mode. That's what's obsessed me.
You should pick better.
Good girl my whole life, loyal to people, deceive me the most. And that's what messes me up.
All you had to do was pick better,
I
man.
even have a choice
We'll
whether
solve
to be
that
in survival
problem.
mode. But you men don't care, you just move on to the next. You don't care who you put in survival mode. And y'all not trying to elevate at all. You're not trying to be with any woman. You're not trying to be with the woman that you really want to be with, because you play games. You all play games for generations to come.
She sounds like she's hurt. You know, I could put money on it that guy was 10 notches above her. All these ladies, she said, okay, this guy looks good, I'm giving it up. But you're blaming men, saying he did you wrong. Why didn't you make him strap it up? You could have done that, but you didn't make him strap it up. And you know what's crazy? You know what comes to mind? And I believe this brother may be a Gen Z brother, but he's living in Gen Z Nation now. But you guys remember that song? You let him hit it wrong. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you're a single mom. Now you're a single mom. Had his kid. Don't care if he's here or not. Single mom. Now you're a single mom. Look, that was all your fault. You're gonna have guys.
Shout out to Brendan Jamal for making that song.
Out there, I just said it, that are gonna do that. They feel like they have no choice, but they're not gonna feel sorry for you because the days of men being simps, it's over. These ladies know they have no shot.
0 shot.
Dude make this video saying why he don't mess with baby mamas, and I'm explaining why I don't mess with baby mamas, and I come from a unique perspective because I don't have any kids of my own. I'm not dealing with no kids. Period. Nate Daniel for no reason. If I wanted to have kids, I would have them. If I wanted to deal with kids, I would have my own. But I don't want to have kids, and I don't want to deal with kids, so I'm not going to deal with yours or anybody else's either. Second reason why I'm not going to mess with baby mamas is because I'm not going to compete with nobody for your time. I'm not competing with your child, and I'm damn sure not competing with your baby daddy who you're in some weird
Talk about it.
with. Because that's the father of my child, and you're the mother of his child, and it's a special connection. Blah, blah, blah. You should have had the child in the midst of you guys being a family.
Damn
I'm not
right.
going to say being married because, feel me, whatever. But at least when you are committed to being a family, that time is not going to be split. But because you're not a family, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose your child sometimes, and there's times you're going to have to choose your baby daddy because then that's going to be introduced to me, and it's going to be a whole, I'm not being a trifecta, quadrecta, trapezoid, drecta, heptecta. I don't know what geometric shape it is, but I'm not getting involved in your web of attachments. I'm not about to be involved in you got dude in the closet, he's under the bed, and doing all this weird goof. Not playing pretend reality TV with body. Nobody's about to have me looking goofiest because I'm over, you know what I'm saying, being an honest man, and you're just, well, it's just my baby father coming to pick him up, and he's coming in.
Lies.
No. No.
Hell no.
Comes from my neck. Let me say that for some men, women that already have kids are the perfect catalyst for that man to get it together and to see life with a purpose.
Exactly.
Prior to that, he may not have had one. Me,
I'll be
I've always
right
been
back.
intrinsically motivated. I've always had goals that I needed to do this, I needed to accomplish this, I need to go here, I need to check this box. Those are things that I've always wanted to do for me. I've always had a purpose far before and beyond, to infinity and beyond. I had a purpose. I've always had a purpose. And I've known that. But some men don't know their purpose. They don't know within themselves what it is that they want to do. So for some men, that woman, whether it is the family that he wants to build with that woman that already has a kid, or that woman herself and him willing to do whatever he needs to do to be with that woman, including taking care of that kid, will start to see, I need to get myself together so that I can be with this woman because she is worth it. I may not be worth it by myself, how he sees it, but she's worth it. And this goes both ways, because there's some baby daddies that ain't, and we know this. Long story short, just be ready for the connections and attachments and the baggage that whoever you're choosing to be involved with, even if it's not a baby mama, whatever they're bringing, because you're going to, so be ready to deal with their...
Single mother will never get a good man. Let me say that one more time. A single mother will never get a good man. And let me clarify what I mean by that. Because I'm a single mother, you know what I'm saying? But I've already come to reality. So when I say a single mother will never get a good man, this is what I mean. Most men want to start a family. They don't want to join a family.
I couldn't agree more.
Right? So when a man comes in and a man see a woman already got kids, he want to play around with that woman, but he don't want to come in. And if he do come in and play a role, you're gonna have to take. You are the breadwinner of that concoction, right? Because 9 times out of 10, this nigga ain't got no house. He ain't stable, or he already got something going on. It's just always something with him. You gonna go in it genuine, and he gonna come in it not. And you could be a great woman. You could be the best woman this man ever could have asked for in his life. But because you are a single mother and you got kids, you're never gonna be what he truly what he wants. Because in his head, these kids is a financial burden that I did not ask for, right? And maybe it'll work out if the daddy. If the biological daddy is completely in, but y'all just not together, but he does He gets them, he provide for them, he do his, maybe it'll work, right? But it ain't gonna never work because that, what I just said about the daddies being like that typically ain't how it is. The daddies is gone and they just started the new family because once again, a man want to start a family, not join a family, and if he joins that family, 9 times out of 10, she is taking care of that man. So, if you a smart young women don't have no kid, don't do it.
As a guy with no kid, I respect myself enough to never be in a committed relationship with a single mom or the next.
Usually when I have this conversation with women, it tends to go bad. But lately, I'm thinking ladies are starting to wake up. Because back in the day when I used to say this, or when I used to be asked would I date a woman seriously, or be in a committed relationship with a woman with kids or a kid, and I said no, man, the backlash is crazy. But now, the only women that are asking me that are women with kids. And when I say no, it's like they're congratulating me. It's crazy to get used to. What? The women without kids have turned the tide. They're the ones attacking me now. Maybe it's me. You know, maybe I'm just overthinking it. But it has been going on for
Tap screen, please. Please tap screen.
Aspirations and dreams of building my own. Giving all
Tap
my
screen,
energy
please.
and time to my son or daughter or both. And also being the leader
Please tap
of
the
such a
screen.
relationship to the mother of my children. And not another man's seed. Respectfully.
There's a whole culture and a cottage industry built on dragging single black mothers. Podcasts, pulpits, barbershops, and timelines. Black men gather to dissect the problem of single black motherhood, filling feeds with blame, but never reflection. 64% of black children are raised in homes without their fathers. Nearly 80% of single-parent black households are held down by women. More than 70% of black kids born to unmarried parents will never see their father's name on the school sign-in sheet, sometimes not even on the birth certificate. But listen to the rhetoric. She should have chosen better. She's raising these broken kids. She's too independent. No man wants that.
Oh, absolutely. Chevy Silverado, America's most dependable full-size pickup. And Chevrolet. Discover Braun Series 9 Pro Plus. You take one stroke, Braun takes 5.
Y'all have all the smoke for the women left to clean up, never a whisper for the men who vanished without a trait. This generation.
Talk about it.
How do you wage war on the women
Really?
who stayed, but offer protection and silence to...
This is the problem. These ladies don't do their research. The men
They
you're
don't.
talking about, they can't be controlled. Why do you keep making videos like this? It's getting tiring now. You have the evidence all over social media. Why you choose not to look at it? That's why you continue making videos like this that's so dismissive. It's like, oh, forget what everybody's saying. I won't even look at it. Forget what's going on, what's really happening. I don't want to get to the bottom of it. I just want to talk. And what's going to happen? A bunch of ladies are going to watch you, and they're going to look at what you're saying and say, yeah. Get him, girl. That's right. Why black men in a war against single mothers? You're telling black men to take care of Pookie and Ray Ray's kids. I just did a video of a passport.
And black men ain't doing it.
Who became a baby mom to a Chinese man in Thailand. And now she's back stateside, and I'm sure some guy, and she'll be happy if some guy takes over for his responsibilities. Stop it. Get some help.
The men who left, why is the single mother the villain for surviving the storm? While the man who brought the thunder is nowhere in sight, you never see a war on absentee fatherhood. No marches, no trending hashtags, no endless panels about why
Woman, go
black men
hell.
walk out and never walk back in.
It wasn't my fault.
Never your fault.
Black men build platforms off the backs of black mother's endurance, using her struggle as evidence of her failure, never as proof of his absence. And let's be real, this isn't about concern for the children. It's about punishing black women for refusing to fall apart, for making a way out of no way, and for surviving when men left nothing but shadows and receipts. Here's the coldest truth. Single black mothers are not the crisis. They're the reason there's anything left to save. If you want to talk accountability, stop blaming the women who stayed and start looking for the men who only show up to cast stones but never to carry the weight.
End up being a victim at some point or another. Why do they want to be victim? It is programmed in us that poor me is some type of place
Bingo.
as a woman, and as a mother.
So the next time you hear a black man blaming single mothers, remember, the real war is against the ones who did the work.
Or woman left with children to raise on her own. That is something that they get to flex off of. They believe it is a flex.
While the ones who disappeared get to wage war from the comfort of their own absence.
And this is why the gender war will continue on. They're
Yep.
not looking at all
It
the
will.
facts. If you look at all the facts, you'll realize the majority of you having babies are the minority of men. It's true. The majority of men are not talking. They're not dating. They don't want to be bothered. The majority of ladies, they say, oh, I'm getting tired.
Tap screen, tap screen, tap screen, please. Please tap screen.
That's a select few of
Tap
men.
screen,
It's
tap
not the
screen, tap
majority.
screen,
You
please.
always do
Please
this.
tap
Like,
screen.
learn what's happening.
Tap screen,
Keep your
tap screen,
eyes
tap
peeled.
screen, please.
So to understand the reason why it is difficult for men to date women that already have children, you have to understand the relationship between men and their children, right? A man and a child, right? And the dynamic of that relationship, right? So men gain validation, right, when they are able to impart knowledge from their own life that they feel would aid a child in their survival and in their growth, right? That lessons that create a strong foundation for a child's morality, for a child's conflict resolution, for a child's, drive and motivation, right? So men feel the validation when they are able to impart knowledge from their own survival skills, from their experience, onto the child, especially if it's a male child. They get validation from teaching them survival and seeing that child exhibit these behaviors in their day-to-day life, right? That's when they feel like they've done a good job. That feeds them, that makes them feel like a father. So when you're in a situation where you are dating a woman that already has kids and you don't have kids, right, what usually happens with men is that ability is stripped away from them. And the reason for this is decisions as to how the child will be raised, right, are mainly down to the mother, the biological mother and the biological father. They are the ones that mainly hold the decisions as to how this child is raised, especially if the father is still very present in the child's life, the biological father. So that ability is stripped away from them. So when you're in a situation where you want a man to come into your life to show your children love, right, and care, but you will not give him the ability to be able to impart his own values on children that he is taking care of. That is a painful one, and that's why a lot of guys walk away from it, because you are stripping the guy of that ability to be the dominant male in this child's life. And at the same time, you want this man to be a part of the child's life and to be a father figure to the child without really being a father, because there's limitations to, what they can teach the child, right? So when you do that and you place limits, because, the wife, the biological mother and the biological father have to agree on how this child is raised because it's their child, and you are just the third person in it. You just seem like you're just standing in the background. That is what men don't want, right? Men don't want to have to feel like they're just there in the back seat while, the parents are actually doing what they do raising this child. And the amount of love and care that is put into a child, right, by these men, but being unable to then teach certain skills affects them, right? This is what makes it difficult for a man to decide to be a woman with children, is because they're stripped of the ability to actually be a father to this kid.
My Old Spice make you sore over another man?
A debit card that lets you pay later. One card, 2 ways to pay. Sign up with Klarna now. No credit impact to apply.
I was on the phone with my friend, and she was venting to me. She was really discouraged. She was like, you want to know what? I don't know about ever getting married. I don't know about ever become a wife, because I have 2 kids. Like, I'm a single mom, and I have 2 children, and I don't know what man would want to deal with that. That's what she
Tap screen, tap screen, tap screen, please. Please tap screen, tap screen, tap screen, please. Please tap screen, tap screen.
Man that's gonna love you and your kids. That's what I told her. Even though I encouraged her in a way, I still felt where she was coming from, because I don't really see a lot of men that's wiping up women who have children. I'm not saying that it don't happen, and I'm not saying that most men are doing it. I'm not saying that, but all I'm saying is in my walk of life, like from what I see on an everyday basis, I don't see a lot of men that's marrying women with kids, women who have children. And I just wonder why. Like, why is that? True story, my stepdad married my mom in 05, and my mom already done had 6 kids. And my stepdad is still married my mom, and they've been married for over 20 years now. But that was back in 05. Like, we in 2025. I don't know if maybe times done changed. I don't know, but
I was looking at the comments in this post, and there was a lot of comments making light of it, like joking around, like, ooh, men are in their flaw bear. Like, no, like, when I read this, I had a pit in my stomach. This goes beyond, like, men are in their flaw bear. We are living through a paradigm shift in society, and when ChatGPT rolls out corn by the end of the year, I think that dating and society will be unrecognizable in a year from now, because there's already so many people who are having full-blown relationships with AI and who are not developing social skills and dating skills and respect for other human beings in the outside real world. Once AI is able to service that aspect of life, relationship, whatever you want to call it, there is going to be no reason for these men who are having full-blown relationships with AI to ever stray from them. And that's really scary.
You know, these ladies have to look within. Seriously.
Ma'am, you was
the way
weird.
dating is now. Men are used, insulted, belittled, and they want no parts of what's going on. You ladies say dating is garbage nowadays. It's hard to date, but you made it hard.
Talk about it. It's the women that made dating hard. Yes.
The days of men being simps is over. Understand it. Men will no longer be simps. Men will definitely not date single moms, and men won't be simps. And the reason why men 18 to 25 are not talking to ladies, because they're scared to death. Because it's not like how it used to be when I was doing it. You get rejected. But during that time, the Me Too movement came in, the social media disrespecting men in gyms came in, all of these different things, and it left the imprint, a scar on men's minds. And so men get with AI, that may happen, but I don't think it's going to be the masses. What men are doing, men are working on themselves. I think a lot of men do need to work on their soft skills, because men can't, they're not dating. They don't want to be doing this. So it's going to be a rough 2030. That's coming soon. And you're causing it to happen to yourselves. It's not men doing it, it's you.
Someone asked me if I thought it was a red flag if a guy has a lot of girlfriends, and I said no, it's a green flag. I would not date a guy who didn't have girlfriends, because if a guy has 0 friends who are girls, it means the only thing that he thinks women are for is potential people to sleep with. It means that he doesn't think that they have interests and senses of humor and important views on the world. It's just people to get in the sack.
What?
So I would not date a guy if he didn't have girlfriends.
Ma'am, you double talking.
Well, I was dating a guy, and then he slept with his best girlfriend. Okay, that guy sounds like an asshole. But it doesn't mean that men shouldn't have female friends. Seriously.
Well, the reason why he slept with his girlfriend is because that's what men, all men, right? They have a friend, and they ask when they do an interview, would you sleep with her if you had the chance? What do they say 90% of the time? You have some guys that are like, oh, no, that's my buddy, and they still will smash. This is not saying it, but then most guys said, yeah, and take a look at this. This lady is living in Delulu land. Look at this lady. Write her comments. Her name is Sarah. She said girlfriends are just failed talking stages with a laughing emoji. She gets it. Hand claps to you, sister. Thank you for being honest. We appreciate it.
Eat my ass if I'm wrong, but like every man that I have met that is not married and is 50 plus, they don't want to get married. And I'm saying this because I talked to somebody yesterday, just like in the hospital, and they were just visiting their family, and they were showing me pictures of all the kids, and like, you know, just like how he's having all of his exes visit, you know, the family member. And I'm looking at him like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, yeah, I don't have a ring on my finger, you know, like I don't want to get married. I'm never going to get married. And then it made me think of my dad. My dad's the same way. He's telling me, oh, I've been with your stepmom for so-and-so years. We've been through hell and back, but I'm never getting married. And I'm looking at them like, why not? They done already been through hell and back. You might as well give them the ring. And then they'll be like, well, I do give them a ring. I just won't sign the marriage contract. Why the not? You don't have to anyway. I mean, maybe the guy does. My dad doesn't. So I don't understand why not. Like, why?
They
why
don't get it.
To just, like, get
they
married?
don't
like,
get it.
It doesn't make sense.
sense to me. I really am baffled. Like, eat my ass if I'm wrong, but like, you already wasted all these years not being married. Why not just end your life with marriage? You're with the girl anyway. Like,
There's no need for it.
And it's always the 50+ years. Like, why? Why not just get married? Like, I don't understand.
There's no need for marriage at that point.
I got married at 28 and I'm 29.
Dang, that audio was screwed up.
To you guys to explain to you why I'm getting a divorce, because over 10 million of you guys watched me get married last year across Instagram, YouTube, and a lot of other wedding content that I put out. I'm a lifestyle creator, and so, you know, you're going to see my life, the ups, the downs, all of it. It is just a part of the process. But the reason why I do want to share why I'm getting divorced is because I got married to a narcissist unknowingly, and
please.
A lie.
Now all my wrongs are justified. I'm a victim, even when I'm not.
And I started talking about this on Threads and on my Twitter account, and I shared some of that to my Instagram stories. And since sharing that, I've gotten hundreds of DMs from women who are in the same situation or who have been in that situation. And so many of them have told me, I'm so grateful that you've been talking about this and that.
Why do women always want to play the victim, even when they're not the victim? I just don't get it.
Transparent about this because I didn't have the strength to leave. Now that I'm seeing that you are leaving so soon as well, I'm now inspired to leave. I do want to talk about this specifically when it comes to the narcissistic abuse part, because you don't even realize it's happening to you while it's happening to you. For so many of us, we just didn't even know what was happening while it was happening. I'm going to share as much as I can, and I think it's also important for us to remember that there's a difference between narcissistic personality disorder and having narcissistic traits. Okay, those are two different things. So let's start from the beginning. So in 2020, I met my husband on Hinge, and I was living in New York City at the time, and I was working on Wall Street, and I was pretty isolated. Here comes my husband on Hinge, and he looks great, and he seems like a pretty decent guy, and he really sold himself as like this faith-based guy, and like really serious with like really good intentions, and I bought it. Now he was going to be starting a job on Wall Street as well at a different firm, and I like the fact that he was already in the industry, so I really did have a demanding schedule. Again, very normal guy, seemingly decent guy. The relationship is good to start. Towards the end of 2020, I started to pick up on the fact that our values weren't really aligned. And especially when it came to faith, there were some things that weren't adding up, right? So I did let him know that, hey, I think we should break up. I think we should part ways because, you know, we're just not aligned. Now, he accepted it at first, but then he kept trying to message me, get back with me, and saying, you know, I really don't understand. I really miss us and all of that. And then he starts to mention the fact that there's a ring fund because, you know, he sees me as his future wife that he's already gained 14% on. And I remember saying to him, like, I'm sorry, what does that have to do with anything? And so that is an example.
You were so dumb.
Love bombing. I am somebody who had...
How is that love bombing when the man tried to marry you?
I grew up on manipulation. I grew up on love bombing. So that...
Man, y'all women are stupid, man.
My soon-to-be ex-husband was doing at the time. But now that
y'all be so damn dumb.
Right? If you have broken up with somebody, they seemingly accept it, but then they're coming back and they're like, okay, but I have 14.
And the reason I'm calling her dumb because he was trying to repair and build up their relationship, and you still up and left because of your own selfish feelings. Man.
On a ring fund, right? They're trying to like lure you back in, right? They're trying to talk about all these things that they do for you or what they're doing for you to try to lure you back in. Now, I was resistant to his efforts. At the beginning of 2021, I do start a new job, and that job is actually at the firm that he's working at in a different capacity. But we've been broken up. We're still cordial. Now, he's still trying to get back with me. He's inserting himself in a way that's friendly, but like also clearly like he regrets that, we parted ways. I'm focusing on my new job. I'm focusing on like getting my life together. He does become...
And that's another thing that women are doing. Women need to understand you can have family and career. You don't have to pick between one and the other. You can have family and a career. Why not pick both?
A source of support for me as I'm in this new job because he's already familiar with his firm. He knows how to support people, and like he really is just a great friend to have. My birthday's in July, and yes, we're friends. We're not together, but he totally inserted himself into my birthday in a way that was like, I'm her man. Got me a cake and everything, and like I appreciated all of those efforts because at the end of the day, like it's great to have somebody who is looking out for you and all those things. But again, I wasn't cognizant of the fact that like boundaries were not in place. And this is something that you have to be very aware of as a young woman when you're dealing with these men. Like if you have broken up with somebody,
You're such a stupid
why they
woman.
should still be coming around in that capacity. And if they keep coming around under the guise of friendship, right?
Woman. You honest to God could not see that this man was throwing every signal under the sun that he wanted to build something with you and nobody else, and you didn't even care.
Because they love and care about you deeply as a friend. You have to be very careful. Because I was very convinced that, okay, he keeps showing up and he's just around because, like, he just cares deeply about me. He just wants to be the person that's there for me. Now, despite the fact that we're broken up, anybody who has shown any kind
You're
of
a
interest
damn
in me,
idiot.
anyone who he knows is interested in me, he's creating obstacles for these people. He would want to spend like every waking moment of the weekend with me, and I just had zero space. This is another sign that you were dealing with a narcissist. 6:30.
This is why men don't get married over. It's all men.
12 hours on the desk, Monday to Friday. Like that. I like my space. I do believe that I am an introvert, and I really do need to recharge, especially
No,
when
you need a
I'm
damn therapist. What you
in the
need?
setting and when I'm around people for so long. Like I need like to decompress, right? I'm blessed now that I work from home and I don't need to like recharge as much, but I really needed my space.
I feel bad for the brother. He loves her. He's stuck in the days of men being simps. But because of girls like her, those days are over.
Real talk alert.
The Iceman is coming!
Ladies, winter is here. See y'all later. Peace.